I never planned to disappear. But when the people I loved most broke me, something inside me snapped. 7 years later, I returned not as the scared girl they destroyed, but as the woman they never expected to face. My name is Myra Lawson, and this is the story of my disappearance and my revenge. My name is Myra Lawson, and I remember the night everything in me cracked like thin glass. It started with voices drifting from the living room, sharp, low, cruel. I paused on the stairs, holding my breath as I heard Chloe laugh. Seriously, she said, Myra actually thinks she can get into that art program. It's sad. Ethan snorted. It's beyond sad. It's pathetic. She doesn't have talent. She just thinks she does because no one tells her the truth. My stomach twisted. I tell her the truth, Chloe said. She just plays the victim like always. I whispered, really? That's what you think of me? Ethan didn't hear me, but Chloe did. She smirked. See? She's always lurking. Always desperate for attention. I stepped forward. I wasn't lurking. I just came downstairs. You didn't have to say all that. Ethan shrugged. We're just being honest. Honest? My voice shook. Calling me pathetic is honest. Chloe rolled her eyes. Oh my God, Myra, stop being dramatic. I'm not being. Grace walked in from the kitchen with a dish towel on her shoulder. What's going on now? I pointed at Chloe. They were talking about me. Again. And you never say anything. Grace sighed like I was an inconvenience. Because Chloe doesn't mean it in a bad way. She's just worried you'll get hurt chasing unrealistic dreams. Chloe smirked again. Exactly. I'm helping. No, I said, you're tearing me apart. Grace stepped closer, lowering her voice like she was tired of me. Maybe if you weren't so dramatic all the time, people would love you more. I felt the words hit my chest so hard I couldn't breathe. Love me more. My throat tightened. So you're saying this is my fault? Tyler, our cousin, leaned against the doorway with his arms crossed. Finally someone said it. You're exhausting, Myra. I spun toward him. I wasn't even talking to you. Doesn't matter, he said. You're always crying or whining. It's annoying. My hands shook. You all really think that about me? Chloe didn't even soften. Well, yeah. Ethan nodded. Someone had to say it. Grace rubbed her forehead. Can we please not start another fight? Myra, go to your room and calm down. I stared at her. I'm not the one who started anything. You reacted, she said. Like always. Something inside me cracked right then, quiet, cold, irreversible. I whispered, I can't do this anymore. Chloe laughed under her breath. Oh please. Where would you even go? I looked at her, and for the first time, I felt nothing. Anywhere that isn't here. Grace snapped, don't be ridiculous. Tyler added, she won't leave. She likes attention too much. Their voices buzzed around me like a swarm of wasps, but I felt strangely calm as I walked upstairs. I grabbed my backpack, shoved in clothes, my sketchbook, my toothbrush. My hands kept trembling, but I kept going. Downstairs, Chloe said, what is she even doing up there? Ethan chuckled. Probably writing a poem about how we ruined her life. I took one last breath and walked down the stairs with my bag on my shoulder. When they saw me, the room fell silent. Grace frowned. Myra, what's that for? I'm leaving. Chloe laughed again, but it sounded unsure this time. You're not serious. I am. Grace stepped forward. Stop. You're overreacting. I shook my head. No. For once, I'm reacting exactly the right amount. Ethan stood. Come on, Myra. Don't be stupid. Tyler muttered, she won't last a day out there. I looked at each of them, every face that had shaped my fear, my self-doubt, my silence. I'll last longer out there than I will in this house. Grace whispered, you'll regret this. I whispered back, I already regret staying. No one reached for me. No one told me not to go. No one said they loved me. I opened the door and stepped outside. The cold air hit my face, and my tears finally slid free, burning like the betrayal that pushed me out. As I walked down the street, I realized something painful and true. Leaving hurt, but staying would have killed me. When I left home, I didn't have a plan. I just walked until my legs threatened to collapse. I kept whispering to myself, "Don't look back, Myra. Don't you dare look back." But every step felt like ripping out a root that had grown too deep inside me. I ended up at a women's shelter in a town I'd never heard of. The first person who spoke to me was a woman with calm eyes and a steady voice. "I'm Elena," she said. "You look like you haven't breathed in a long time." I stared at her. I don't know how to anymore. She guided me inside. "Then that's what we'll learn together." For weeks, I barely spoke. Elena didn't push. She'd sit beside me and say things like, "You are not broken," or, "Silence is not weakness." One night, after I had another nightmare and woke up crying, she found me in the hallway. "Elena," I whispered, "why does it still hurt?" "They're gone." I left. She rested a hand on my shoulder. "Because leaving the place doesn't mean you left the pain." "I thought I'd feel free," I said. "You will," she replied. "But freedom starts here." She tapped her chest. "Not out there." That woman rebuilt me piece by piece. A few months later, I met Noah. He walked into the shelter with a box of donated sketchbooks and said, "Hey, Elena mentioned you draw. Thought you might like these." I blinked at him. "Why would you bring me something?" He shrugged. "Because everyone deserves something that reminds them who they are." I touched the new sketchbook gently. "I haven't drawn in months." "Then maybe this is a good day to start again," he said. Noah became the quiet constant in my life, the person who'd sit beside me without demanding explanations. He'd ask, "You okay today?" And when I shook my head, he'd simply say, "Then I'll stay here until you are." There were days I almost went back home. Days when loneliness felt like gravity. I'd stand outside the bus station whispering, "Maybe they miss me. Maybe they realized they were wrong." But every time doubt pulled me toward the past, shame pulled me back. I'd hear Chloe's voice, pathetic, and Grace's voice, dramatic, and Tyler's voice, annoying, and I'd freeze. One night, Noah found me sitting on a bench outside the shelter, shaking. "Talk to me," he said. "I don't think they ever loved me," I whispered. He exhaled softly. "Then they didn't deserve you. But they're my family." "Family is who shows up," he said. "Not who shares blood." His words stayed with me for years. 7 years passed. 7 years of rebuilding, repairing, relapsing, rising again. Elena taught me how to set boundaries. Noah taught me how to trust slowly. I taught myself how to breathe without apologizing for existing. But in all those 7 years, not once did my family call me. No voicemail. No email. No message. Nothing. The silence hurt more than the night I left. Then, everything changed because of one stupid accident. Noah walked into the common room holding his phone. "Myra, I think you should see this." I frowned. "What is it?" He hesitated. "Just, prepare yourself." He handed me the phone. On the screen was a public social media post from Chloe. Her face smiled brightly in the profile picture as she wrote, "My sister ran away and destroyed our family. I gave her everything. She abandoned us. Some people just love playing the victim." My breath went cold. She posted this publicly?" Noah nodded. "There are comments. A lot." I scrolled. People were calling me ungrateful, dramatic, selfish. All based on Chloe's lies. I clenched the phone so tightly my fingers hurt. She didn't look for me. She didn't call me. She didn't give me anything. Noah leaned closer. "Then why tell the world a different story?" I swallowed hard. "Because she needs to be the hero. And I'm easier to blame than her reflection." He asked softly, "What do you want to do?" For the first time in 7 years, I felt something burn hotter than fear. "I'm going back," I said. Noah's eyes widened. "Are you sure?" "Yes." I stood, feeling every piece of strength Elena had poured into me. "I'm not going back for love. Or forgiveness. I'm going back for the truth." "And after?" he asked. "After?" I whispered. "I walk out again. But this time, they'll know exactly who they lost." The air smelled the same the moment I stepped into my hometown, like old pavement, cold wind, and memories I tried to forget. The streets looked smaller than I remembered, but the ghosts of 7 years felt huge, pressing against my ribs as I walked toward the house I once escaped. I stood at the front door for a full minute before knocking. Then I stopped. I didn't need permission. I turned the handle and walked inside. Grace looked up from the dining table. Her smile froze. "Myra." Chloe's fork clattered onto her plate. "No. No way." Ethan's mouth opened, then closed, like he was choking on air. I took a slow breath. "Hi." Surprised. Grace stood quickly. "Sweetheart, why didn't you call?" We didn't know you were coming." "You didn't know a lot of things," I said. Chloe stood too, crossing her arms. "Are you here to cause drama again?" "Because I swear, Myra." "No." I stepped farther into the room. "I'm here for truth." Ethan muttered, "God, this is really happening." I turned to him. "I'm real. And I'm here. Look at me." He looked at the wall instead. Grace forced a shaky laugh. "You look different." "I am," I said. 7 years will do that." Chloe scoffed. "Oh please. Don't act like you went through some big spiritual thing. You abandoned us." I tilted my head. "Did I?" "Because I checked my phone records. 7 years. Not one missed call from you." Grace swallowed. "We were giving you space." "That's one way to say it," I whispered. Chloe pointed at me. "You don't get to come in here and play the victim." I pulled my phone from my pocket. "Funny you say that. Want to talk about the post you made about me?" Her face drained of color. "What post?" I tapped the screen and held it up. "This one." The room fell dead silent. Grace tried to step closer. "Myra, honey, we can explain." "No," I said. "You can talk. I'll listen. But you don't get to rewrite anything." Chloe grabbed the phone from my hand and read her own words, the lies she painted as truth. Her voice cracked. I didn't think you'd ever see this." "Why?" "Because you told the world I destroyed the family." Chloe's jaw tightened. "Well, you did." "No," I said softly. "You destroyed me." Ethan finally spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "We never thought you'd come back." I looked at him. "Why?" "Because guilt is easier when the person you hurt disappears." He looked down again. Grace touched her chest, breathing fast. "Myra, we've all grown since then. We made mistakes. But you walking away, it made everything harder." I laughed once, sharp and humorless. "I made things harder? Or I made it harder for you to pretend you were perfect?" Grace's eyes glistened. "You don't understand." "Then explain," I said. Chloe stepped in front of her. "No. Mom doesn't owe you anything. You left. You can't come back acting superior." "I'm not acting," I replied. "I am superior to the person you tried to destroy." Chloe's face twisted. "Stop talking like you're some warrior. You were weak. You ran away." I opened my backpack and pulled out printed screenshots, her messages, her comments, her group chats where she joked about me being too sensitive to survive. I placed them on the table. "You didn't just push me out. You made sure everyone saw me as trash." Chloe stared at the papers with trembling hands. "Where did you get these?" "Evidence appears when truth needs it," I said. "Noah helped me." Grace whispered. "Who is Noah?" "Someone who saw value in me," I said. "Something none of you ever did." Chloe's voice shook. "This doesn't mean anything." "It means everything," I said. "Because now you can't lie anymore." She grabbed the pages and threw them on the floor. "You think you're so strong now? You think walking in here makes you powerful?" "No." I took a breath, feeling calm settle into my bones. The fact that I don't fear you anymore makes me powerful. Ethan wiped his face. We messed up. Okay. We messed up badly. Grace started crying loud, messy, rehearsed. Myra, please. People will see these things. They'll judge us. Ah. There it was. Not love. Reputation. I stepped back. There it is. The only thing you ever cared about. Chloe whispered, Myra, what do you want from us? Nothing, I said. Absolutely nothing. The room felt small again, but this time, I wasn't the one shrinking. Chloe sank into her chair. Ethan buried his face in his hands. Grace sobbed into her palms. Their masks were gone. Their power over me was gone. And they all knew it. I walked toward the door, my voice steady. You can't control me anymore. And that scares you more than losing me ever did. And as I stepped outside, I heard Chloe whisper the truth she never wanted to admit. She's not the same girl. No. I wasn't. When I walked back into the house the next morning, I wasn't shaking anymore. My hands were steady. My breath didn't stutter. I wasn't the girl who left 7 years ago. I felt the difference in every step I took across that old floor. Chloe looked up, eyes swollen from crying. You came back. Not for long, I said. There's one more thing I need to say. Ethan shifted uncomfortably. Myra, yesterday was a lot. Yes, I said. And that's why we're finishing it. Grace wiped her face, trying to look gentle, soft, motherly. Sweetheart, we just want peace. You want silence, I replied. Peace takes honesty. Chloe swallowed hard. Then be honest. I nodded. Fine. Sit down. They sat, almost afraid of me now. And that was new, finally new. I stood across from them, my voice calm and cold. You broke me, I said. All of you. You made me believe I was worthless. You convinced me I was dramatic, fragile, annoying. You laughed at my dreams. You punished my emotions. You let me walk out the door like I was nothing. Grace whispered, I thought you'd always forgive us. I shook my head. That's not forgiveness you counted on. That was dependence. You thought I needed you so much I'd come crawling back, no matter how you treated me. Ethan rubbed the back of his neck. You don't understand how toxic things were back then. Then explain it, I said. He exhaled shakily. Chloe controlled the room. And I backed her up because it was easier. I didn't think for myself. I didn't think about how much it hurt you. I just went along with it. I held his gaze. So you admit you enabled her? Yes, he said. I did. Chloe's breath hitched. So now it's all my fault. No, I said. It's everyone's fault. Yours. Ethan's. Mom's. Tyler's. You all played a part. Grace whispered, we weren't monsters. No, I replied softly. You were weak. Weakness can do just as much damage. Chloe stood up suddenly. I'm not weak. I raised an eyebrow. Then why are you shaking? She looked down at her trembling hands. Because everything I built is falling apart now. It wasn't built on truth, I said. It was built on breaking me. I didn't mean, she started. Yes, you did, I cut in. You meant every word. Every insult. Every joke. Every time you told people I was unstable. Every time you said you gave me everything. Every time you used me as your excuse to look perfect. Chloe sank back down, covering her face. I never thought you'd grow into someone who could stand here like this. That's the problem, I said. You never wanted me to grow at all. Grace stepped closer. Myra, please don't leave again. We can fix this. No, I said. You fix yourselves. I'm done trying to earn love that should have been given freely. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. The move shattered her expression. Don't push me away, she whispered. I'm not pushing you away, I said. You lost the right to hold me close. Silence filled the room, heavy, aching, undeniable. And in that silence, I felt something inside me ease, like a knot finally untying. I turned toward the door. That's when Tyler appeared in the hallway, leaning against the frame with an unreadable look. Leaving already? Yes, I said. He nodded slowly. Good. But before you go, you should know something. I stiffened. What? He lowered his voice. Chloe didn't treat you like that because she thought you were weak. She treated you like that because she was scared. Scared you'd outshine her. Scared you'd be better at everything she failed at. I stared at him. You're lying. He shook his head. No. I heard her say it. More than once. Chloe gasped. Tyler. He didn't look at her. You were her biggest threat, Myra. That's why she tried to break you first. The truth hit me like a cold wave, sharp, shocking, freeing. I looked at Chloe. She was crying quietly, not with anger now, but with something close to regret. Maybe fear. I'm done being your shadow, I said. And I'm done letting you dim me. I opened the door. Grace called after me. Myra, please, just stay. Just talk to us. No, I said without turning around. You had 7 years of silence. Now it's my turn. I walked out of that house with my chest rising lighter than it had in years. The wind felt different. Softer somehow. Clean. As I headed back toward the life I built, the life I chose, I thought of Elena's steady voice, Noah's quiet faith, and the strength I found alone. I whispered to myself, this time, I leave free. And for the first time in my life, the words felt true.